Guys, girls, new school, old school, and even a little hint of international. Today we are ranking the 10 greatest challenge beasts in Survivor history. For the first time in the history of this channel, we will be discussing international Survivor. For everyone in the comments who have been asking for it, this is for you. I personally have never seen an international season of Survivor. To help break down this video, we are going to be joined by the Nullified Take. I'll be dropping a link to his channel down in the description. Let's help him reach 600 subscribers. And while you're at it, you should probably subscribe to me as well, as we're on a mission to be the most subscribed Russell in the YouTube community. Anyway, enough said, let's get into it. Number 10, we have the GOAT of Survivor, Tony Nachos. This three-time llama is not the conventional Survivor challenge beast that we come to expect, and honestly, his first 2 seasons of Survivor gave awful, and I mean awful, challenge performances.
Tony working on the slide puzzle, sliding pieces all over the place, rapidly. Does he know what he's doing? Or has he just lost his mind after 36 days?
It's almost like the physical portion of the game was the single element that Tony was missing in his winning game in Cagayan. And when we fast forward to Winners at War, we notice what I consider Survivor perfection. I dare you to take a look back at the final tribal council. Half the time I don't even know what Tony is saying, and yet at the same time he is making the jury laugh. So boom, check the social game off. We already know he's a strategic mastermind, so boom, check that box off as well. Somehow, someway, Tony Nachos turned into a challenge beast in Survivor Winners at War, winning 4 individual immunity challenges that season, which by the way, the record in a single season is 5. So Tony, a guy who was laughed at for his original challenge performance, was a single challenge away for tying the record in the best winning game of all time. That's why this possibly head-scratching pick needs to be somewhere on this list.
Can I eat too? You cannot eat. You just want immunity, brother.
I have to start by giving respect to the original challenge beast of Survivor, the good old Texan boy Colby Donaldson. The Australian Outback was the very first season that I watched in full. I was a kid at the time and Colby was my hero. Colby played in season 2 and won a record-setting 7 challenges in 1 season at the time. His record for individual immunities in a season has not been broken in over 60 global seasons. Other castaways have come close, but they've never been able to knock him off his immunities throne. Colby also has the bragging rights of winning 5 individual immunities in a row. He did come back in later seasons, struggling to perform to the same level that he did in his original season. However, one could argue that if he made the merge in the All-Stars season, that he would have done a lot better than what we saw in Heroes vs Villains. The main reason he was voted out before the merge in All-Stars was due to his reputation as a challenge beast. Colby's challenge wins nearly helped him to the victory in that very first season, and he did receive 3 votes at the final jury. Tina ultimately won that season, and I have to admit, that one still stings until today.
Number 8, Survivor winner Mike Holloway. Shout out to Peridium for these fast-paced stats. Mike won 58% of all challenges he competed in, 6 individual wins, 5 of those wins being for immunity, but the main reason I'm including Mike on this list is for the clutch factor he brought into Survivor Worlds Apart. As this video is all about challenge beasts, it's pretty fitting to compare this to professional sports. Think basketball, the NBA, buzzer beater, you're out of time, make the shot and you win, miss and you lose. Same thing applied for Mike's Survivor experience. If he lost a single challenge, he was going to be voted out and sent home. But with challenge win after challenge win and a sprinkle of hidden immunity idol magic, Mike wasn't going anywhere, securing one of the greatest underdog stories in Survivor history.
Next up is someone who is mostly known for their strategic ability and in my opinion has one of the most dominant performances by a winner in a single newbie season, Kim Spreadin. Most people remember Kim for running a tight ship with an all-girl alliance on Survivor One World, as they took care of the boys in quick succession at the merge. The rivalry between her and Troyzan that season was epic to witness, in a season that was otherwise pretty straightforward. But Kim is so much more than a superb strategist. She was underestimated coming into the season since she was a bridal shop owner, but that entrepreneurial mindset of wanting to be the best came in handy at the challenges. Kim went on to win 4 individual immunities in One World as she steamrolled her way through the endgame. She would later add to this tally by also winning an immunity challenge in Winners at War. She has the record equaling amount of immunity wins by a female castaway in a single season season to date. What makes Kim such a great challenge threat out there is the combination between her natural athletic ability, her smarts when it comes to puzzles, and her ability to adapt to any challenge that Survivor may throw her way. When talking about challenge threats on Survivor, Kim is one of the greats, and if you're playing in a season that she's in, you better get rid of her before the game becomes individual.
Number 6, two-time Survivor player and one-time Survivor winner Sophie Clark. We are specifically going to be talking about her Survivor South Pacific game for this video, as she was truly the definition of a challenge beast in season 23. There's a couple of key factors going into what makes Sophie's South Pacific challenge performance so impressive to me. For starters, it's a season including Aussie, making it that much more impressive that Sophie managed to earn herself 3 wins that season. Secondly, it was a season that included Redemption Island, making it basically designed for Aussie to perform at his best. If you haven't figured it out yet, we'll be talking about Aussie a little later in this video, but most importantly of all, it's the clutch factor in Sophie's 3rd immunity win that earns her a spot on this list. Much like Mike Holloway, Sophie winning this Final 4 challenge was completely clutch, and if she doesn't win this challenge, Aussie ultimately wins the season.
Sophie with her 7th piece. 1 piece left. Coach turns to watch now. Ozzy still fighting. Sophie wins final immunity!
Survivor South Africa Island of Secrets, Rob Bentelli. The name Rob in Survivor holds a lot of weight, and Rob definitely lived up to that in his season. Most fans will remember him for the ultimate control that he had strategically and how he took his alliance, the Amigos, deep into the game. When you look at Rob, his whole persona and build screams natural athlete, and how his cast didn't take him out before he reached the mids is as much of a secret as the Colonel's KFC recipe. Rob went on to win 5 individual immunities in his season to equal the record for most individual immunities won in South Africa or any global season, putting him up with some of the greats of the Survivor world. His immunity wins were spread across endurance, balance, mental and physical challenges throughout his season. His ability to pull out these wins were truly impressive to witness.
Number 4, we're bouncing from one Rob to another with Boston Rob. Enough said, appearing in 6 seasons, competing in 5 with a total of 152 days played on Survivor. With that much Survivor played, you're gonna end up winning a bunch of challenges along the way. It's tough to calculate when averaging everything out, as a couple of his seasons I would go as far as to consider being flops. But there is something to be said about winning 4 individual immunity challenges in 2 separate Survivor seasons, All-Stars Season 8 and Redemption Island Season 22. Rob Mariano is the only player in Survivor history who can say he's done that. Challenge beast, period.
Rob struggling to get up these steps. He is literally carrying his family on his back.
We are going down under for this next one. Brooke Jot deserves, in my opinion, to be the highest ranked female competitor on our list. She played in the very first reboot of Australian Survivor Season 1, in which she went deep in 2016. She won only 2 immunities in that first season, but later added to that tally when she came back for the very first All-Star season. This led to her becoming the ultimate challenge beast of Australian Survivor. She won a whopping 4 individual immunities in All-Stars, putting her up there with the best of the best when it comes to female competitors. She is also the only Australian Survivor to win individual immunities in 2 different seasons to date. Her total tally sits at 6. What made her run on All-Stars even more impressive is that she did this against some fierce competitors. She has stamina, endurance, smarts, and strength. She was underestimated due to her stature and not being the most muscly or tall girl out there. She also didn't really have any notable experience as an athlete coming into this show. If there is ever a crossover season and Brooke isn't invited to take part in it, it would be an absolute shocker to the international Survivor community.
Number 2, we have Survivor Challenge Beast Aussie. For the longest time, he was my favorite player of all time. Heck, I even made a video covering his entire 4-season journey. He has had 2 impressive seasons as a challenge threat in Cook Islands and South Pacific, winning 5 individual immunity challenges in Cook Islands, and basically winning a million Redemption Island duels in South Pacific. But on the other hand, we have these 2 disappointing performances. Please let me know in the comments where you would rank Aussie if you were to make your own Challenge Beast list.
It's only fitting that we end this list with one of the greatest international Survivor characters of all time. Chappies played in Survivor South Africa Immunity Island. He came into the season as a bit of a character and someone that spoke highly of himself himself. Due to this, I think that most people thought he would be out early, but surprisingly he formed really strong bonds with cast members.
How's it, guys? Chap is here from Survivor South Africa Immunity Island, and as you can see, I brought along the guns. I feel humbled to be mentioned among some of these great legends, and to be quite honest, I really look forward to the day that I can take them on, just to prove who the real challenge beast is. If you guys want to see some more Survivor content, be sure to subscribe to Russell Muscle TV as well as the Nullified take.